In this video, we're going to talk about how to use AI tools such as ChatGPT and Claude in your creator business. Hi, I'm Shauna Hollinger, Creator Education Manager here at Mavely by Later, and I'll be your instructor for this lesson. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to set up projects in ChatGPT and Claude to save time, the 5-part context formula for better results, strategic use cases for using AI in your creator business, and techniques for refining AI outputs. So before we dive into how to use these tools, let's first get an understanding of what they are and how they can benefit you in your creator business. So tools like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and Perplexity are conversational AI assistants. So you can share what you're working on and it'll give you a response. And the idea is that you keep refining those responses until you're satisfied with the output that it gives you. So a lot of people think of these like Google. You ask it a question, you get an answer, and you move on. But that's not how these AI tools work. Google is going to give you search results that links to different pages, but the AI tools are going to give you actual answers and strategic thinking based on what you tell it. So here's why you should be using it in your creator business. These tools are going to turn hours of strategic thinking into minutes. So when you think about pitching to brands that requires research and crafting your pitch, or brainstorming content angles, or even analyzing your performance data, these are all tasks that require a lot of time, and that's where AI excels. Now, the important thing to remember is that AI only knows what you tell it. If you give it surface level context, you're going to get surface level results. If you give it specific context about who you are, your target audience, and more information about your business, you'll get strategic insights that's going to help move your business forward. So when you sign up for tools like ChatGPT or Claude, there's certain settings that you want to have established to save you a lot of time and to help you get the best results. So I want to go over why context matters so much when it comes to setting up your AI tools. Imagine working with a talent manager that knows nothing about your creator business versus working with someone who knows the ins and outs of how your content performs, your target audience, what you stand for morally and ethically. They're going to be able to give you a lot more strategic advice compared to the talent manager that doesn't know anything about your business. And you want to think about that in the same way when you're using AI. So if you've already been using AI tools, but you have not been using projects, you're going to love this. And this is the only way that you're going to want to create conversations moving forward. A project is a folder where you teach AI about your business one time. Then every conversation that you have within that project builds on what it already knows. This way, you're not having to start from scratch with every new conversation. You can even upload documents to your project. So an example of a document you might want to upload would be your media kit. So as far as what to include in your project, you first want to give it your creator DNA. This is who you are as a creator, your niche, your unique angle, and what makes you different from other creators in your space. This is going to help AI understand your positioning. Second, you want to give your audience intel. So everything you can provide about your target audience is what you want to add here. And I'm not just talking about my target audience are women between ages 25 and 45, but you can also include psychographics such as what is keeping them up at night? What are they struggling with? And what transformations are they looking for? I would also add your values and boundaries along with your current goals, and also any relevant documents for your project. So we already talked about media kits. You could do past pitch decks, performance data, campaign briefs. This is going to give AI concrete examples of how you work. Let's walk through what this looks like using ChatGPT. So over on the left-hand side, you'll see projects. So you'll click on that and you'll give your project a name. So maybe you want to work with one of your dream brands and you want to do a lot of research before you send a pitch. I can give this a project name, hit create project. And then right here is where I can add any relevant files. So if there's any files that could pertain to the brand that I want to research, I can upload it here. And then in the top right-hand corner with these 3 dots, I can also add instructions on how I want ChatGPT to respond. So maybe I want it to respond in a certain tone of voice, or maybe I want a more detailed response versus something that's really short. You could give it all those instructions here. Once you have all of the files uploaded and you've given it the instructions, you can now create a new conversation inside of ChatGPT, and it will be able to analyze all of the files that you have uploaded to give you the best response. The other cool thing about ChatGPT is it allows you to dictate your response so you don't have to type it all out. All right, so now let's get into the 5-part context formula. This is the framework that's going to level up the AI outputs so that you're not getting generic responses. So, step one is to define the expert role. When you tell AI who you need them to be, it changes how it approaches your problem. So, for example, a basic prompt would be, help me write a pitch. But a better prompt would be, act as an experienced influencer marketing manager who specializes in fashion and beauty brand partnerships. Now, when it responds, AI adapts its knowledge and approach based on the role that you give it. You want to match the role based on the outcome that you need. So, for example, if you need help with content angles, you're going to tell it to act as an expert content strategist. Next, describe your target audience in detail. You can see the difference between the two prompts on the screen. And what changed is that we went from surface level demographics to a deep psychological understanding of who your target audience is. So we're talking about internal conflicts, their barriers. That level of detail is going to allow AI to think more strategically about your audience. It's also giving AI the ability to think from your audience's perspective. So let's do this in real time so you can see the difference. So this is the basic prompt, and this is the output that it gave me. So it's very generic. It's not really giving me much at all. Versus when I gave it a more detailed prompt, now it's giving me some content themes that are going to resonate deeply with my target audience. So as you can see, these are really touching base on what my target audience is struggling with. And it even went down to give me some real ideas and engagement posts. Number 3, explain the specific problem that you're solving. As you can see with the second prompt, we went from a vague request to a specific strategic problem with context about what's working, what's not, what you've tried, and what you're concerned about. So again, I gave it the basic prompt. I said, I need content ideas. And it's actually asking me more questions so that it can tailor a better response. Versus when I gave it a more detailed prompt, now it's giving me everything that I really need. And this was done within seconds. Number 4, share relevant data and analytics. So you can upload your social media analytics, your affiliate performance data, your audience activity patterns, and content performance metrics so it can analyze what's driving clicks versus what's driving sales. And number 5, upload documents and visuals for analysis. So again, any creative briefs, you can take screenshots of your competitors' content so that it can analyze that, your own performance data, and even photos and graphics that you want feedback on. You can upload different YouTube thumbnails and have it analyze which one would be the best and why. Now, once you've given it all the information that you need to, the next step is to refine the results. The first output that it gives to you is probably not going to be the best version. So you want to tell it what you like and what you don't like about the response that you got so that it understands what direction you want to go in next. So you can literally say things like, this hook could be stronger, or this is too formal. You might do this a few times before you're satisfied with the results. So let's be clear, AI cannot replace you. Your unique perspective and lived experience can't be replaced by AI. You know your audience and your niche better than AI ever will. And you also have built an authentic connection with your audience. That's something that AI can't replace. AI is there to help with processing information faster, research and brainstorming, identifying patterns in your data, and there's many other ways that you can use AI in your creator business. So for next steps, pick one area where you need support. So such as pitching, your content strategy, or analyzing your analytics. Set up a project in ChatGPT or Claude, and then open up a new conversation. Use the context formula we talked about so that you're feeding it enough information to give you back useful responses. And so the key is to remember that more context is always going to give you better results every single time. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment and we're happy to help.